thank you for taking some time with us today. We're both very excited to talk to you.
Well, I'm excited too.
Lovely. Just to get into it, Lauren, before we get all nostalgic and start talking Blockbuster, because that's really all I want to do ever, basically. How'd you get involved with this movie?
Well, I actually got involved with it through an Instagram DM. So I think Taylor, one of the people involved with the movie, reached out to me on Instagram, and it sounded legit enough that I responded and then ended up doing it.
The rare nice DM slide that actually
positive. What was the pitch? What was the pitch that sounded like so cool?
Well, the list of all the people who had already been involved, and I know a lot of those people, so I was like, well, if all these people are doing this, then it can't be some weird scam.
Sure. It's it's at this point that I have a big announcement to make. Sam knows this. I actually earlier this year went to the Last Blockbuster.
You did?
I did. So
I thought you were going to say you DM'd me.
Didn't?
With a job offer. I'm still waiting.
I just want to know, I DM'd you.
Yeah. No, so I went on a crazy solo road trip earlier this year, just by myself. That's what solo means, I guess. So I'm driving along, didn't even know where I was really. And out of the corner of my eye, I see a Blockbuster, which of course makes no sense to your brain. Yeah. And so I did the quickest U-turn I've ever done in my life, pulled into the parking lot, and just there it was. And I looked up on my phone in the parking lot, are there Blockbusters left? Because I was like, this is weird. Is this a museum? Yeah. And so I saw in Bend, Oregon, here is the Last Blockbuster, and that's where I was. It was the wildest, most bizarre experience to walk into a Blockbuster and just be smacked in the face with all of that nostalgia.
It's crazy. I can't believe it's still functioning.
What
have you?
Yes, sir. No, go ahead, Sam.
Well, have you been able to go, Lauren, to the?
No, I haven't. And this all happened for me during the pandemic that I did my, voiceover for the narration and everything. So yeah, I think if it had been normal times, I would have loved to have gone and checked it out. But
what do you remember from your hometown Blockbuster?
Oh, well, it was the best. I loved going there. We had a couple video stores in town, and the Blockbuster was very exciting because it had the most options and was the most, fully formed store. A lot of the other ones were little holes in the wall with a little hand. You kind of see the same 4 videos every time you go in. Mm-hmm. So it was very exciting to get a Blockbuster in our town and I'm from Evanston, Illinois, right outside of Chicago. And we had 2 that opened up at a certain point. And it was a big event. It was every weekend or every few weekends, we'd go as a family and walk around and read boxes for hours and then pick something out and hope it doesn't suck,
What was your go-to Blockbuster pick?
Oh my God. I don't know if I'm not really someone who rewatches the same movie over and over again. I tend to get a new movie every time. So I would try something new every time. But, I think at that point in my life, I was very excited whenever they had Babysitter's Club, the TV series on tape. That was always a big get for me. And then just anything that looked funny, like Jim Carrey stuff, Adam Sandler. I always loved those movies. And anything with an interesting box. There were some boxes where I would look at the box so much and I never even saw the movie, like Drop Dead Fred. I remember looking at the box my entire life and being like, what is this? And then I just never rented it. I don't know.
Well, I was talking to Dan about, I'm sorry to interrupt you again, Dan. I was talking to Dan about this universal experience that I think most gay kids had, where you'd go to Blockbuster. Do you remember the Showgirls cover?
Yes.
The movie show? It was the lady with the leg. And I remember looking at it and being like, I know this is supposed to do something, but I have never felt less anything. It was just a tundra in my mind.
But just a lady. I don't know what I'm supposed to think about.
Yeah, I was like, it's a leg. It's cool.
You'd be a good dancer.
That's so funny. Yeah, I feel like the movie boxes like really they really affect you as a kid because you don't have any other way to see anything like that. So it's either like flipping around on TV, but like when you get to walk around and really like inspect everything, it's a special kind of moment.
Yeah, it's that and like looking at like the underwear in Target or whatever, like like the shirtless men.
That's disgusting, Dan. I can't believe you would do that. That's actually repulsive.
I'm really afraid. But yeah, it is funny. I remember I was always whenever I would go into a Blockbuster, I was always a new release person. So I would always only walk around the outside. And I think as I got older, I realized that if you ventured into the middle, that's kind of like where the good stuff was.
That is very true. I do feel like as a kid, like the new releases were very exciting, but you still could walk back and forth like 100 times and not pick anything. Like it was, you know, the options were still limited, even though it felt like there were so many. But yeah, once I got older and then I was like, I should get Harold and Maude, you know, like you kind of start to graduate into like more interesting artistic tastes.
Yeah. And now I do that on Netflix and also in bodegas. I spend like hours in bodegas trying to pick out a type of yogurt or something.
Oh, that's your own thing. Well,
I'm from New York. I have to talk about bodegas.
You got to mention bodega, so I know.
Yeah. Well, Sam and I were saying, Lauren, it's a little weird. I had this thought recently about whether or not kids who are growing up now are going to sort of look at movie theaters the way that we look at Blockbuster.
Oh my God.
In the sense that we're just going to consume movies in an entirely different way. I mean, it was already heading that way sort of obviously anyway, but now with the pandemic, it's scary to think what's going to happen with theaters. You know, it's crazy to think that we're already sort of like in a separate post-Blockbuster era. And it makes me like feel very old, but then also just kind of sad.
Yeah, I feel sad about it too. I think with like, even with streaming stuff, you have this feeling that there's endless things to watch, but you kind of, in some ways, I prefer the confines of walking into a store and being like, I have these options. This is it. So if you don't leave with anything, your night's over. And, you know, here I'll just be sitting at home and, you know, flipping around forever and like starting things and stopping them. And it's like, you just get, you get over things too quickly. Like before if you rent a movie, it's like, that was $4. I'm going to watch this.
Well, I remember, like dressing up to get in an airplane or something.
Yeah.
I remember the pressure if I was getting a movie for the family, if I was getting something that my parents were also going to be watching. I remember feeling such immense pressure that, okay, you have to pick something that everybody is going to like.
Oh my God.
Like you just said, it's not like it's a Netflix thing or whatever, where maybe 15 minutes in, we're not feeling it, we'll flip to something else. It's like, this is the evening. You are picking a movie. And oh God, I picked Best in Show once, and I got like congratulated for like a week after by my
parents. I was gonna say, it's a good move.
Yeah. I picked The Hot Chick with that Rob Schneider movie called The Hot Chick, which is, I can't believe I'm admitting this to famed guest Lauren Lapkus and my writing partner Dan and the internet. It's a super problematic movie, but I think I made my family watch it and they were like, this sucks.
Yeah.
You live and you learn, you know? It makes you appreciate when you pick something good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, Lauren, we have a game to play with here.
Great.
We're dropping this on you.
I love games.
Okay, I knew you would. So here's how it works. We have movie titles and synopsis that would have been on the Blockbuster shelves in the early to mid 1990s. Some of them are real, some of them are fake. It is up to you to determine whether or not they're real or fake. Okay?
Okay.
If you get 5 of the 7 right, you win.
Great.
And also, if you get none of them right, I mean,
you still win.
You win.
I still win. There's no prize.
That's exactly right.
There's no stakes. You can only do well.
The best kind of game. Okay, I'm gonna go first. Okay, Sam. Okay, Lauren. Okay. Cool World from the year 1992. Brad Pitt lives in an animated world where cartoons can become real if they mate with humans.
This is real.
That is real. You're 1 for 1. Yeah. Ding, ding, ding. Congratulations.
Okay.
Have you seen it?
No, but I vaguely know what that is.
Okay.
Wow, that is an insane concept for a movie.
I want to watch that.
Yeah, I know. I kind of want to watch it now too.
Is Brad Pitt going to hook up with Jessica Rabbit? Because I would watch that.
I would pay like $12.99 to watch just that. Actually, Brad Pitt,
Oh, it's
hello?
buy, not rent on Amazon. That's a
Yeah.
great to buy.
Okay, movie number 2 is called Arachnophobia. Jeff Daniels and John Goodman live in a city being overrun by a new deadly species of spider.
That is real, and I have seen that one.
Oh,
Wow,
ding, ding,
cool.
ding.
Yeah,
We have an expert on our hands, Sam. Okay. From
I watched a
It's almost like she
lot of
did a movie about movie.
yeah. Okay, from 1995, movie called Say It Ain't So. Nicolas Cage and Elizabeth Berkley, aforementioned, play rival minor league baseball team owners who eventually settle the league's labor dispute over games at the county fair.
I'm gonna guess that that's not real.
And you're right,
But
Lauren.
you're gonna say it is?
You're
okay.
3 for 3. 3 for 3. Oh man.
Okay.
I didn't
From
know, but I felt like I could picture. It made me think of that movie where Nicolas Cage wins the lottery, like with Elizabeth Shue, and then
Right.
Elizabeth Berkley is very close to that. So I was like,
Yes.
is that? Okay, no.
There were a lot of famous
Gone Girl,
Elizabeths
right? Is that
a lot of famous Elizabeths in the 90s.
Yes.
Okay.
Huge decade for Elizabeth. Okay, from 1992, My New Daddy. A young Hilary Swank finds out that the man in the Santa costume at her mall is her biological father, and then she goes to live with him at the North Pole.
Okay, I'm gonna guess that's not real, but if that is real, I'm watching it tonight.
It's not real, but we're developing it after this conversation.
Yeah, that's really
so if you,
yeah.
I'll actually DM you about it if you're interested.
I'd love to start.
A second successful DM. Okay, Lauren. Small Soldiers from 1998. Kirsten Dunst is forced to deal with 2 conflicting factions of action figures who turn sentient after being programmed with a military microcompressor.
Well, I've never heard of this, but I could imagine that. But I'm gonna go with no, not real.
We got her.
We got her.
Yeah. Real?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's actually one that I have watched in my childhood, and then I think it gave me nightmares. It really scared me.
How could it not?
That's an insane premise. Well, I thought I mean, that's wild. I thought it was a very good idea that you came up with as a fake one, but I guess it's real.
It plays into what we were saying earlier about just like looking at covers of movies, because I looked that up and had never heard of it, but then when I looked up like the movie, I recognized the poster. I was like, I probably saw that at Blockbuster. Like,
yes. What's the name of it?
Small Soldiers. Maybe that's what you're watching today.
All right. I mean, I'll watch anything.
Yeah, good luck finding it. Okay. Small Town Crooks, Big Time Looks from 1996. I'm going to say it like the movie announcer. Okay. Mary-Kate and Ashley play detectives in their tiny Georgia hometown as they attempt to figure out who burnt down the post office.
Okay. I have seen a lot of the Mary-Kate and Ashley franchise. I don't feel like burning down the post office sounds real. So I'm just going to say it's not real because I want to be a real expert on Mary-Kate and Ashley, but I might be wrong.
That is correct. And I think burning down the post office was from like 3 billboards. I think that's where that
came. Right. It's a little intense.
I didn't even connect that. Also, I wrote that one because I knew that you were probably a Mary-Kate and Ashley fanatic, just like myself, obviously. Are you an It Takes Two fan?
Yeah, I love them all. I mean, honestly, I loved those movies growing up, and the little rental ones that were just VHSs of them being like kid brother for sale or whatever.
Yeah,
I just loved it. I love Full House so much too. So I just I enjoyed watching them grow up and become like fashion moguls and
amazing,
just interesting women.
Jesus. Okay, last one. You've already won for the record, so this would just be brownie
Feels
points.
Good.
From the year 1993, Doppelganger. Drew Barrymore moves to Los Angeles after being implicated in a murder and is followed by a supposed evil twin, but it's eventually revealed that she has a split personality and absorbed a vanishing twin as a fetus in her womb.
Oh my God. What a fun idea. I feel like it's not real because I feel like I know a lot of the Drew Barrymore world. I think I've seen most of her movies because I love her. If I haven't seen this one, I want to see this one.
Lauren, I felt the same way. This is a real movie.
No way!
Swear to God.
What?
I know. It's a Small Soldiers doppelganger double feature today.
These are being erased from history. I've never heard of that. That's
I know
amazing.
the Drew Barrymore erasure is quite frankly a crime. Congratulations on winning.
Have you been on the Drew Barrymore show?
I haven't, but I've watched a lot of it, and it's very fun.
You'll be on there eventually.
I gotta get on.
You should DM her, girly. Get on that show.
That's how things are set up nowadays, apparently.
Yeah.
Well,
well, your prize is in the mail.
You won.
Very expensive.
Oh wow! And to be clear, you never asked where to send anything, so right? Like it's just gonna get to me.
It's in the mail.
Okay, it's just in the mail.
Well, congratulations. You know, something I forgot to say, Lauren, I'm such a fan of your podcast with Nicole Byer. And I think that one of the things that honestly, I think that podcast, and it's just sort of like in the culture now, is not being ashamed to say that you haven't watched stuff, because that has been such a thing. And I've struggled with that too, because I'm a movie person. I love movies, but like, I'll use the opportunity now. I've never seen A Clockwork Orange. You know, that's something that maybe like a year ago I would have felt ashamed to say. Now it is my truth, and I think your podcast.
Thank you. Yeah, it's a hard thing because on our show, it's called Newcomers for anyone out there who's interested, and we watched Star Wars for the whole first season. We've never seen Star Wars, and then we watched all of Lord of the Rings for the second season. And those are two franchises where you kind of end up just saying you've seen them like at a party just to like kind of skate through the conversation, because no one like if you're like I've never seen Star Wars, people are like what? And then you just have to go through all of that, and it's like okay, so now I've seen it all, and it does feel good to be able to say I've seen it, but it also feels good to say I had never seen it. It's a tough thing to admit, but you know.
You're brave, and now you can shame other people. I hope that's what you've gained from this.
That's what I really wanted. Yeah.
That's really cool. Experience the shame.
Well, Lauren Lapkus, thank you so much for your time. This has been a dream. Congratulations on your victory. Congratulations on the movie. Congratulations on all 8 billion things you're doing at any given time. It's been great. I'm excited for people to check out the movie, check out Newcomers, and thanks for your time.
Yeah, thank you so much. Nice to talk to you.
Bye, Lauren.
Thanks, Lauren.
Bye.
Bye.